Hey guys, so today I have swatches of the Rainy Days collection from Pretty Serious. There are 6 polishes here and they are all kind of muted, grayish, gloomy colors, I guess. It makes them sound terrible, but they're actually really pretty. So these are available right now. I will link the Pretty Serious website down below where you guys can check these out, and I will get into the swatches. So the first polish is called Misty, and this is described as a pale Tiffany blue. So here is one coat. So this one is a little bit sheer, a little bit streaky on that first coat. Formula is pretty good on this one. It's a little bit thin. I wouldn't say that it's too thin. It's just like on the thinner side of formulas, but it doesn't feel like it wants to run or pool anywhere. So here is 2 coats. So this actually builds up really well for how sheer that first coat was. I'm going to do a third because I have a few streaks here, but this is one that's going to be right on the edge. Because I actually have worn this like as a full manicure already. Yeah, I've been actually wearing nail polish outside of swatches, which is cool. And I only needed 2 coats when I actually did my full manicure. So this is going to be one that's going to be 2 or 3, probably just depending on how you apply a certain day. So here is 3 coats. And this one does cover completely in 3, but like I said, it's going to be right on the edge of 2 and 3 because I have worn this before and only needed 2. I do think my picture has 3 coats. And this also dries very shiny. So that is 3 coats of Misty. The next polish is called Cloudburst, and this is described as a dusty blue-green. I do want to stick this next to Misty so you can see the difference. Cloudburst is considerably darker. Actually, they look a lot closer on camera than they even do in person. But I know these can look similar when you're looking at one and then the other without them next to each other. So here is 1 coat. And this one covers really well on the first coat. A little bit streaky, a little bit sheer, but a lot more opaque than the last one. Good formula on this one as well. Again, a little bit on the thinner side, but not too thin. So here is 2 coats. And this one does cover completely in 2. And these all even themselves out really well, and they do dry shiny. So that is 2 coats of Cloudburst. So the next polish is called Overcast, and this is described as a cloudy concrete gray. So here is 1 coat. And this one actually covers really well on that first coat. It's a little bit sheer and has a couple of uneven spots, but for the most part, for 1 coat, it is pretty opaque. And good formula on this one as well. It doesn't feel quite as thin as the other ones. And I say that, again, the other ones were not too thin, they just were on the thinner side. So here's 2 coats. And 2 coats does cover completely on this one. And again, this dries very shiny, and like the other ones, evens itself out really well. So that is 2 coats of Overcast. The next polish is called Pluviophile, and this is described as a purple taupe. So here is 1 coat. And this also covers pretty well on the first coat, just a couple of light spots. And again, the formula is a little bit on the thinner side, but it's not too thin. It's not hard to control at all, and it doesn't feel like it's going to run or pool down the sides of the nail anywhere. And there is a lot of personal preference speaking there as well, because I do prefer thicker formulas. So here is 2 coats. And this one does cover completely in 2. And like the other ones, it dries very shiny. So that is 2 coats of Pluviophile. The next polish is called Petrichor, and this is described as a muted royal blue. So here is 1 coat. So this one is a little bit more sheer, a little bit more on the jelly side than the other ones so far. And this one does want to run a little bit down the sides of the nail. So here is 2 coats. So 2 coats does cover very evenly on this one. It was a little uneven on that first coat, and the second coat covers that up. But I can still see my nail line pretty well. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I can see it pretty well in person. So I'm going to add a 3rd coat to cover that up because it did build up really well on the second coat, so I think 3 will be fine. Before I move on to the 3rd coat, looking at all my nails here, I really only have nail line on 3 of the 4. So this is probably going to be a 2 to 3 coater, not a solid 3 coater. It's just going to depend on your application. So here is 3 coats. And this one does cover completely in 3, but like I mentioned, it's going to just depend on your application whether you need 2 or 3. And this one also dries very shiny. This was a little bit more on the jelly side though, so the shininess doesn't surprise me here. So that is 3 coats of Petrichor. And the last polish is called Precipitation, and this is described as a bright aqua teal. So here is 1 coat. So this one is super pigmented. It covers really well on that first coat, just a couple of lighter spots. Good formula on this one as well. I will say when I did my swatch pictures of this one, I did have some staining. My nails were stained a bit bright aqua teal. So I would definitely suggest a base coat or even 2 coats of base coat because I didn't have the swatch on very long to have the staining that I did. But that was also with 0 base coat. So here is 2 coats. And this one does cover completely in 2. And this also dries a very shiny, you might hear the sounds of Lily, like the clumsiest cat, the least graceful animal I've ever seen, I'm trying to crawl around furniture around my desk right now. So that is 2 coats of Precipitation. So Misty is going to be my favorite. It's the lightest out of all of them, and I like that it's kind of one of those, I don't know if I want to call it seafoamy, but it's not green, it's not blue. I like it. I guess it does lean a little bit more green, but I still really like this color. Like I said, probably just because it is the lightest out of all of them. So for this time of year, I think I'm just naturally going to gravitate towards the lighter color out of all of them. I'm not quite ready for fall colors yet, so Misty is my favorite. So that is the Pretty Serious Rainy Days collection. Again, those are available right now. I will link the website down below. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later.